African trypanosomiasis.
Otherwise known as the African sleeping sickness. This disease is rare, but often fatal. It only takes one tsetse fly to transmit the disease. Such was the case for Molly Conroy in Western Africa.
A few summers ago, Molly traveled to Senegal and decided to tour the Gambia River. While on the river, Molly was bitten by a tsetse fly. She started feeling the first of the symptoms, like the irritation around the bite, due to the proliferation of the protozoa. She ignored it, thinking it was only another bug bite. Within the first 3 days after the bite, she experienced fever, headache, and joint pain. The protozoa was embedding itself into her bloodstream. These symptoms came and went over the course of the next few weeks. Eventually, the symptoms progressed to stage 2. Once the protozoa invades the blood-brain barrier, it begins to attack the cells of the central nervous, lymph, and circulatory systems, which causes
Disruption of sleep.
confusion and paralysis. The disruption of sleep is caused by the invasion of the median eminence, a region of the hypothalamus which produces regulatory hormones such as melatonin. During this progression, the immune system is actively trying to fight off the protozoa.
Now, protozoa aren't your everyday pathogens. These parasites are actually eukaryotic. In the Trypanosoma brucei gambians protozoa, or the protozoa that causes African sleeping sickness, it has a free flagellum, an attached flagellum, along with all of the eukaryotic organelles. Its main membrane is an undulating membrane, which means it can swim with the help of its flagellum throughout the plasma. Being eukaryotic, these protozoa can make their own proteins and antigens, which is why they are so effective at avoiding the body's immune system. This protozoa also has an interesting life cycle. First, it is injected by a tsetse fly. Then, after maturing, it turns into a trypomastogote, which is able to be carried to other sites and replicated. This is where it is possible to diagnose. After this, when the tsetse fly takes another blood meal, the trypomastogotes turn into procyclic trypomastogotes, where they live a full and mature life in the belly of the tsetse fly. They become infected in this state, able to infect another host.
The first line of defense is immediately breached by the vector, or the bite of the fly. Natural killer cells fight off the protozoa as part of the second line of defense. In addition, phagocytes are unable to defend the body as the protozoa parasitizes them, using them as a host cell for growth and protection. The protozoa will then use two escape mechanisms called intracellular location and antigenic variation.
In intracellular location, the protozoa uses the host habitat to protect them from the direct effects of the host response. In antigenic variation, the protozoa changes its surface antigens. This allows parasites carrying the new antigen to escape the specific immune response to the original antigen.
At the terminal state of the disease, dementia, incoherence, and seizures are caused by CNS atrophy and demyelination, or the destruction of myelin sheath around the axon.
Much like what we see with Molly right here. What Molly didn't know before her trip was that the disease is contracted in sub-Saharan East and West Africa and can affect anyone in those regions. In recent years, the amount of deaths caused by African sleeping sickness has decreased significantly from 34,000 deaths in 1990 to 3,500 deaths in 2015.
This is due to advancements in treatment. To diagnose this disease, doctors use microscopy to detect TB gambians, or TBR, which classifies the protozoa. Molly searched for a cure, but came as short as there is no cure.
Her only option was the use of prescription medication, such as nifurtimox and elforinethine. Molly continuously goes to the doctor to have her cerebral spinal fluid checked for signs of relapse. The next time Molly goes to sub-Saharan Africa, she should try using insect repellent and avoiding highly wooded areas. Molly needs to be extra careful on her next trip because there is no vaccine for African sleeping sickness.
hear the drums echoing tonight, and she hears only whispers of some quiet conversation.